My name is David Place. I moved out here from Loughlin. Obviously, I'm not one of the constituents now, but I'm hoping to change that come next November. Who here thinks anything coming out of Congress will work? Will work. Okay? So, you're going to send this to Congressman Kennedy, correct?
Yes.
You can see this, Congressman. No one here thinks anything's coming out of Washington right now is going to work. I want to challenge you to get me going, get everybody else in this room. Come up with a plan. You know, you say you've got these plans over here, everybody else in this room. I think everybody in this room, if we sat down and started asking questions, it's not a complicated thing. It's not complicated. You don't need to be a lawyer. You should need to be a lawyer to read the things coming out of Washington. They're simple things. Cut back on taking the drug medication. Stop letting foreign countries force us to subsidize their countries. Why can't you get drugs in Canada for dirt cheap prices? Because the Canadian government tells our drug companies you can't sell it at a proper rate. So what do the drug companies do? They sell it to us at a higher rate because they can't sell it to Canada or Europe or Africa or anywhere else in the country. So what are we doing? We're subsidizing the rest of the world. We subsidize everybody else. Why is it that Europe was able to have all these socialist policies for so long? Because we paid for their defense. Okay? I want to challenge you. Come up with a plan before November when you announce that you're going to challenge Congressman Kennedy, have the Loughlin bill. The party line. Okay? We've got plenty of those people in Washington. Plenty of people. Michael Steele is a joke. Republican nationally, in the state, it's a big joke. Everybody here knows it. No one wants to give attention to Republican name. Okay? It's just the way it is. I want to challenge you. I want to be able to vote for somebody in this state that I'm not voting because they're a Republican. I'm not voting because they're a Democrat. Yes. I'm not voting because they're I believe that person represents what I believe in. Right. I want to challenge you to make me that person. So come November of next year, when I go to a ballot box and I mark your name, I'm not marking your name because I hate Patrick Kennedy. And I think Patrick Kennedy's a joke. I'll mark your name because I trust you. That's right. That's one of you I challenge you.
Thank you very much for your comments. It's a challenge I readily accept. And Rhode Islanders are smarter than that. Rhode Islanders know how to rather than the party label. So I take your challenge, and I encourage you to stay on top of me for it. Thank you.
Before the next question came up, I just wanted to comment on this point and the previous question on Medicare and fraud, etc. This great book just came out called Stop Paying the Crooks by Jim Frobe and New Gingrich. It talks about Medicare and Medicaid fraud. The gentleman's point that government doesn't do anything very well, this is a perfect example. The estimates of fraud in Medicare and Medicaid are the 10 to 15% range, which I think is very conservative. In the credit card industry, it's less than 1%, to give you an example, with the private industry to do compared to the public sector. The studies that came out using those conservative opinions put the waste just in New York City, or the state, at about $20 billion a year. Consider what that is across the country. A perfect example of how faulty that system is in Florida right now. So I looked at Olson Jones, and he's not. He's in jail for murder. He's in jail for 15 years. Came out, started a company selling durable medical equipment, and now is going back to jail again for Medicaid fraud. So this is the kind of scrutiny that we have in that system. Clearly, we'll be strong advocates for privatizing as much as we can, because we sincerely believe that when there's a profit motive involved, that's when you get accountability, and these sort of things just don't happen.
Yes, sir.
My name is Willie Wolf. I come from Bristol. I'd like to second what the gentleman just said. When I heard that you would have this meeting, I went on the website and who is this man? And I was really disappointed right on the outset because I see that we sent a letter to Washington to our representatives for federal funds to get Rhode Island out of the mess with the pension system. I said, my initial thought was, do I need someone to represent me that wants to spend more the money, whether or not it comes out of my right pocket or my left pocket? It doesn't really make a difference. I'm still paying. So my opinion is the three gentlemen that are in Washington right now, they don't represent me. I want someone that represents me, and I haven't written you off, but I want to really hear what you have to say. I've been in this country for 23 years. I was in Germany, and I was the recipient of the social system. I had no worries, no cares, but I didn't know anything else. I came over here for 30 years. I was employed. Everything was taken care of, but then we weren't really sick either. And I was self-employed for 13 years, no insurance. I'm on Medicare. I went to the gamut. I had it all. What happened the other day, after 2 years on Medicare, I go and I get medication. I go to the drugstore and not being accustomed to how the system works, I forget to give her my insurance card. $45 for the prescription. Oh, I have a card. Give it to them and look at my receipt afterwards. What does it say? $10 co-payment, $7.16 for the insurance. If I have no insurance, I pay $45. If I have insurance with Medicare, it's $17.16. We have to fix the system. Our system is broke. We don't need health care reform. We need a consumer protection law. We can do this with under 100 pages, not with 1,500 pages by the time the Senate is done, the House is done, and we have reconciliation. It's going to go on and on and on and on. We have right now our national debt, or I call it our national credit card, and my share as an individual is $38,000 at this time. A family of 5 is $200,000 that we owe right now. That is more than the average mortgage in Rhode Island. Are we nuts? Ideas that make sense, that puts Washington on a spending plan, or else we might as well burn the place and Cuba, some of our representatives in their place.
Thank you very much. That we absolutely need to address. And while I didn't want to really delve into the pension thing tonight, we're talking about healthcare, I will just quickly say that the pension system that we have in place right now for public sector employees is unsustainable. It's unsustainable and it needs to end. Now, there are any number of ways to end that system. And one of the ways in which we can end that system is the same thing that the federal government did in 1985 when they moved into the first savings plan. And that's end it immediately. Cut it right off. Offer the non-vested people the option and just grandfather everybody else out. And there are any number of ways of doing that, some of which involve spending money, some of which involve plan design changes. But the point is, the most important point is that we need to end the pension system as we know it because it is unsustainable going forward.
John, I just wanted to quickly suggest a gentleman who, I think that is an obvious disconnect, and an important point there, that goes to the kind of transparency that Bill was talking about. At least you read the bill, you were interested, you saw that, you noticed the difference, and you wondered why the discrepancy. And what you're seeing there is what I described before. That's really just a form of what we see across the border in Canada.